15-second.
All right, we are back to racing here at the Orange Seal Pro Cup presented by Velocity Bike Park.
The boys are off and clean, and they are pinned. Going into the first right-hand corner. They got a nice long straightaway. Space themselves out, figure out who's who.
Yeah, but look at this pace. It is fast from the get-go. I saw Riley Amos up there in the front. Got a Bear National Team rider up there off the front now as well. Looks like Carter Woods now in the mix.
I see a lot of blue with the red of Chris Blevins right in the middle of that pack, trying to move forward, coming right up into the third spot.
Yeah, there's that Trek Factory jersey of Riley Amos. Pretty easy to pick out that back of his jerseys. He leads them in.
7 laps today, 3 miles per lap, 500 feet of climbing. These boys got a pretty big race ahead of them.
Yeah, pretty big race indeed. If you're just now tuning in, thanks for joining us on InsiderMTB.com. Checking in the race action here in beautiful Temecula, California. It's just a bluebird day. Temperatures in the 60s after what's been a pretty rainy week. Yesterday morning we had a frost warning until 9 a.m. We've seen 3 seasons this week here in Southern California.
Slight breeze and sunny conditions are drying out the dirt. We had some insane conditions, and I think we still have pretty good dirt, but it's definitely drying out. Might get a little slippery as these boys get through 7 laps, but I think we got some good racing ahead of us. If it's anything like the elite women's race we just watched, I think we have an exciting one in store.
Yeah, it's a who's who field of the top athletes in North America here with us this weekend. Joining us for round 1 of the US XC Open presented by Orange Seal. Seeing the early section of the course. We'll talk you through the course if you're just now tuning in, kind of let you know how this course unfolds. Early on, they're going to come up to a climb. They've got this single track section they're in, and they got the first of really 2 substantial climbs, what we call the Village Farms Freeway Climb. Really add some elevation to this course profile this year. Going to give us a good look at who has that early season fitness. Chance for some athletes to make a move later in the race.
Yeah, this course offers a little bit for everyone, and I think that no matter what rider you got, someone can excel in every different angle. They got a lot of, as we see, I think that was Riley throwing a little style over that double, or that was a Bear National Team rider throwing a little style. We got some punchy climbs, we got some super technical descents, and also some nice flow for these boys to get in a nice flow and get their race underway, as we're about third of the way through our opening lap.
Well, that's what you want to see in these Olympic-style cross-country races, a little bit of everything in the race course from, really substantial climbs to technical descents and lots of, features just packed into the course. You see the riders go by one there. That's a rock garden they'll be coming up on here in just a little bit. But that does look like, I think, Riley Amos currently setting the pace for that Trek Factory team. Christopher Blevins setting in second. Bear National Team rider in third. I think that's Carter Woods from Canada in fourth. Racing on that giant bike.
And these boys are moving.
Here comes looks like some moves happening. A little split line there. There was a line option there that the athletes could take on this climb. Looks like some folks electing for that outside line there shortly as they're got some feet down there on this climb. That tells you just how steep it is, and it gets pinchy out there with this early in the race.
Absolutely. We talked about getting open air in some of those earlier races, and this field's a little smaller than like our junior men per se, but man, it's just as important to get out front early and just manage the pace as you can instead of trying to overlap and panic and pass people early on. If you get out front, or at least in the top 5, you kind of got a little easier track to just manipulate. Seeing some manuals out here on this first lap. Whoever that is in third place is just having a blast, throwing whips, popping manuals. I'm a fan.
Yeah, speaking of top 5, a look back at yesterday's short track race. It was Christopher Blevins taking the win Jack Springer with Bear National in second. Braden Johnson in third. Cole Patton with that giant team. He's one to watch today. He started in the back and moved up the pack yesterday. We'll see if he's got what it takes again today. And then Riley Amos rounding out the top 5 of yesterday's short track action. Carter Woods not in the mix yesterday, but here today. Excited to see the Canadian joining us here in beautiful Temecula, California.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this first couple laps will play out. Who gets on the attack, where the separation starts to come. But right now, it just looks like these boys are out having fun. Ripping the rock garden, hitting the drop.
Yeah, there's that new drop they added. There's an A-B line. Something tells me we're only going to see him hit the A line there. It's about a 6-foot little step down. Hit it with ease. Next up, one of the new features you'll see is what we call the over-under, which is new to the bike park here. They've added this sweet supercross-like feature where your seat riders go up and over this Connex box before they wrap around and shoot back through into the second rock garden on the course. There's that Connex box I was talking about. You'll see them go up and over and around and back through, and pretty technical rock section on the back side of this, although we've seen most of these athletes just make quick work of it.
It's pretty interesting. I just watched Blevins go around that little double, take the beeline around the double, which the double is a bit kicky. Might just rob some momentum. Chris decided to go around it, which was a little bit longer, but it seemed to not lose too much time for him. Wonder if more people will start doing that as they get a little more fatigued. Throwing some style over that jump. Looking good, boys.
Well, that's the place for it. That's the Orange Steel Speed and Style section, highlighted by that 12-foot tall camelback jump. You just saw our leaders throwing those tail whips over, getting some massive air in that section. Again, like you said, this course has got a little bit of everything out here. We got over 30 miles of purpose-built mountain bike trails to play with in the course design, and they have designed a good one this year.
Yeah, the Velocity crew has been working tirelessly to build a course that's worth this C1 category race for all those UCI points, and man, did they deliver. They've been putting in the work, trying new things, and I think it's pretty safe to say that everyone's having a great time on this course.
Look back at some of the
starting up that HT pedals power climb here. This is the longest climb that we have on the course, and it is pretty much the final climb of the course, sorry. And this thing seemed to kind of be a deal breaker. Showed us our big separation in our last female race, and seems to already kind of be stringing the field out here, as it looks like we got a group of about 12 riders that are spacing out a little bit.
Right, it was on this climb where we just saw Kelsey Urban make that move on the last lap. Jen Jackson was able to go with her. Sevilla Blanc was not able to go with them. They went from 3 down to 2, and we saw that 2-up sprint finish where Kelsey Urban just took the win just a few minutes ago. Wonder if that same climb, it doesn't become a divisive factor in today's men's elite race as well.
It might just be.
Again, early on, it is Riley Amos setting the pace on that Trek Factory ride. Christopher Blevins on his wheel, former UCI short track world champion Christopher Blevins.
This is such a sweet shot. It really puts it into perspective how hard they are on the pedals right now on this opening lap. I'm pretty confident we're going to see a few laps in the 11-minute mark.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a lead group of 6, but there's still some riders that I think they've got what it takes to bridge up. We'll see if this group of 6 doesn't grow a little bit before it starts to dwindle back down. Again, 7 action-packed laps here today. All right, we had a lead change. Here we go. Chris Blevins now. Looks like he wants to be up front in that clean air, jumping in front of Riley Amos. Pass was made out on course. So they take to the backside of this course. Again, about 3 miles around, 5K in distance each and every time. About 500 feet of gain. 7 laps tells me they're going to be, quick math, about 3,500 feet of elevation throughout this race. They're going to feel that in their legs maybe later.
Yeah, they're putting it in. And I just wanted to welcome everybody that's watching the race live on InsiderMTB.com. Thanks so much for joining us. We're super happy to be delivering this race, calling this race live to you guys free on InsiderMTB.com as we're watching the elite men lay down their first lap of the Orange Seal Pro Cup here at Vailocity Bike Park.
Yeah, this is a new section, too, the backside of this course here. If they drop off that ridge line after that power climb, some new trails take folks back down here to the start-finish area. Pretty fast section of the race course, Spencer. Be excited to see what this first lap time is.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be a bit of a heater. Blevins is pushing right off the rip. I think he wants to try to move as many people out of his way as possible early with Riley right there in tow. And then I don't know who this third place rider is at the moment.
I think that's Canadian Carter Woods on that giant ride. We'll get a look at it when he comes through here. But
yeah, bright white jersey.
I think that's who that is.
Looking good on the pedals. As they close in for the completion of their first lap, we'll get them in sight here in about 10 seconds and really see just how fast these guys are moving.
Yeah, look like a group of 5 now. You got one more rider going to come into frame here in this start-finish area. Now 6, okay.
Yeah, you are correct. That was indeed Chris Blevins leading the way. Riley Amos second, Carter Woods, as you predicted, in third. Jack Spranger fourth, Braden Johnson fifth, Ivan Sippy sixth, Cole Patton there in seventh. And, yeah, just as I thought, we might even see a faster sub-11-minute lap. But the lead lap, we went down to 11 minutes and 21 seconds, which is our fastest lap of the day thus far.
Yeah, a bit of a lead change there. Got a new leader up going through that feed zone. Don't know if that sticks. As Carter Woods on the outside looks like he wants to make a move, maybe take the lead into the single track, but it does look like Riley Amos now in front. But here comes Christopher Blevins on the outside. Again, pretty wide section of the course. They go 2, 3, 4, 5 wide in this section of the race course before it tightens up back down to some single track. There's a move by Carter Woods on the outside as he makes his way up and around Christopher Blevins, now kind of wheel to wheel with Riley Amos.
Yeah, looking to make himself known right here that he's here and he's not messing around. As you see, a couple other riders coming back into picture. They might have just lightened up off the pedals on that bit of the climb.
Yeah, one in, just kind of shake out the nerves. First race of the season for a lot of these athletes, so an opportunity to shake out some of those nerves. And, you know, they kind of now the pace may start to settle down a little bit. That was a pretty fast lap for lap 1.
Check this out, though. They're slowing it way down, slowing the pace way down, just trying to feel everyone out, letting a lot of riders come back to this main group. And they're crawling. This is funny. A little cat and mouse.
Well, these digs, you start taking these digs, you let them catch up, you dig a little bit, catch up, and you just start to wear your opponents down throughout over the duration of this bike race. So, yeah, a little cat and mouse being played indeed as the leader looks to set up a little bit and let this thing tighten back up and then likely open it up here on this next climb.
Yeah, absolutely. Already starting a little different. The women's race there was just wide open from the get-go, and now you see a little more games being played, but also we're early. We got quite a bit of racing left in the book here.
Yeah, here we go. Fast section of the course right here. Little style right there. Just gapping that double, sending it
pretty
on
sweet.
This part of the course.
Yeah, we were watching Jen Jackson send that thing last race. Now we got all the elite guys hitting it with some style. And you see Riley really putting an acceleration in just as you predicted. Stringing these guys back out, putting some space in between him and everyone else.
All right, and just like yesterday, Cole Patton, starting from the back of the pack, has moved his way up into the top 10 already. See where he's at there in the mix. Teammate Carter Woods, both on that giant factory rides, and we've seen some team tactics throughout the weekend already. Not sure those two are looking to work with one another, but definitely some team factory riders out here on course.
Yeah, friendly faces are always a good thing in the group.
All right, now it looks like Christopher Blevins has moved back to the front, followed by Riley Amos and Carter Woods in third. Chris didn't like that pace. He wanted to move a little bit quicker, and so he's jumped up in front, see if he can't stretch this field back out a little bit.
Yeah, he and Riley were duking it out here last year, and I think that they're trying to figure out who's doing what right now. But the weather really has turned up for us. It's a beautiful day here in Temecula. Slight breeze, 65 degrees outside, not a cloud in the sky. And we got some epic conditions. Dirt's awesome. Perfect day to race a bike. Perfect day to go hard.
All right. Spencer, looks like a little bit of separation here by this lead group. Looks like it's about 4 or 5 riders, and Christopher Blevins definitely picking up the pace now a little bit. I don't think he was comfortable with Riley setting up there and letting the rest of this group come back together.
Yeah, you might be exactly right. I think we're going to see this group get smaller and smaller here in the next couple minutes as they keep it pretty pinned. As you see, Blevins went back to the double. He wasn't a fan of the beeline, I guess.
Yeah, I saw a couple of riders select for that beeline there. Doesn't look to be too much of a penalty as they go up and over our over-under section here, that Connex box that got buried in the wintertime.
Yeah, I think they're less worried about the time there, more worried about just trying to save as much energy as possible. Whatever works best, as fluid as possible, that's the line they're choosing. Into this rock drop here.
Yeah, seems to be a great spectator spot, too. You get a kind of a bird's eye view of the venue from up there around that Connex box area. At least the fans have picked out that spot as a popular spot because they are piled up there today. Great to see all the fans out in attendance this weekend here at the Orange Seal Pro Cup. And that, you see that little water puddle there, that just keeps drying up. That gives you an idea of, we did get some substantial rain throughout the week, but it finally gave way after yesterday. We had a little bit more rain at the venue yesterday, some high winds. But it is all sunshine all day today as they approach that HT Components power climb for the second time.
Absolutely. And our two leaders were doing the same thing here last year, battling it out before they made their bid for the Olympics as they went and represented the U.S. in Paris last year. And they both together fought for very, very valuable points for UCI ranking and took that straight into the Olympics and represented the U.S. very well. And they're just getting right back into the swing of things here in 2025. Starting their year off right here at the Orange Seal Pro Cup.
Yeah, that's right. Christopher Blevins taking the win right here at this venue last year. Different course, though, but did find the win last year here in Temecula, California. But things have changed over the winter. You talked a little bit about this team building out this bike park and some of the work that's gone on over the wintertime to really create something new that this first time all these athletes are seeing the new sections of this course.
Yeah, like I was talking about earlier, Eric Carter and the whole crew here at the Velocity Bike Park have put in the time, put in the work. They've been out here laboring, building trails for us, everyone, these guys to enjoy. And on any given weekend, there's a couple hundred people out here riding and enjoying this awesome KOA park that is here at Vail Lake Resort in Temecula, California. And we got trails for XC races all the way to downhill races and everything in between, and something here for everyone, just as you're seeing here on this 3 mile, 500-foot elevation XC course that we have here today.
Yeah, and shout out to Jack Springer setting in 4th. Been watching Jack race for several years, come up through the ranks of that Bear National team. Jack in 4th, holding the wheels of some of the best in the business behind Christopher Blevins, Riley Amos, and Carter Woods. And so he's having an impressive ride early on in this men's elite UCI C1 race here today.
And looking comfortable doing it, I will say. Looking pretty good so far.
Got some other athletes out in the field that have made some noise here in the past. Ivan Sippy, he's with us. He took the win in the men's U23 race here last year. I think he's making the jump into the elite field here in 25 for the first time. So we mentioned Cole Patton's out there on that giant factory ride, returning to the U.S. Pro Cup XCO racing. He's been on a few-year hiatus. I chatted with him. He is back in for the Lifetime Grand Prix. That's going to be his focus on the season, but excited to have him out here racing with us this weekend. His teammate, like I said, Canadian Carter Woods, former Canadian U23 national champion and World Cup winner, always a threat. We see him up there early in that white giant kit.
And we are watching as Chris Blevins kind of starting to put the nail on here a little bit. He's got the pedal down, and he's pulling out a few bike lengths from the other 3 or 4 riders that are in this lead pack.
Yeah, turning the screws early a little bit. Again, we're on lap number 2 of 7.
And we're down to a group of 4 now in this lead pack, and it looks to be about the same. It's Chris Blevins, then followed by RJ Riley Amos, and Carter Woods in 3rd, and that is your guy, I believe, Jack Springer. They're still hanging on in 4th for the Bear National team. As they are coming around, completing their 2nd lap, coming into frame here, right in front of the start-finish zone, as they will begin on their 3rd lap. See what their lap time's looking like. I would like to think this lap was probably a bit slower than the lap previous, but this group of 4 is looking good. $11:15, actually, right on the money with same lap time as they just put, and it is indeed Chris Blevins, Riley Amos, Carter Woods, and Jack Springer rounding out the top 4 with a pretty solid gap to 5th place.
Yeah, they seem pretty comfortable to just set up in that section, let each other take a feed, take a drink before they go by this feed zone, and then the action picks right back up.
Yeah, 20 seconds behind them, you have Robbie Day in 5th place, Braden Johnson in 6th, and Cole Patton hanging on there in 7th place.
Where they go. We'll see if those back 3 or if those 3 chasers are able to bridge this group of 4 and they make it back to a race of 7.
What's his name? Has him right here. Brendan has him here.
There you're seeing our lead group of 4.
I'm gonna catch that pack that's right behind.
It is 20-second separation between 4th, back to Robbie Day, Braden Johnson, Cole Patton, and that chase group of 3. Now chase group of 2. We'll see if this chase group of 2 can get back on terms with its lead group of 4. A lot of bike racing left as they just came through on their 2nd lap, and so turning just under 12 minutes. Well, about 11:15. That's some fast lap times out there. So there you see the separation right there, Spencer. And so I don't know. I mean, you can at times you're going to be able to see that race up the road, and you just wonder if that's not enough to encourage these 2 chasers to run this group of 4 down. I mean, that's going to happen, something tells me somebody else other than Chris Blevins might have to jump up front and take a turn.
Yeah, I think you're hit the nail on the head there. I don't know that those two are coming back to this group if they keep this pace rolling. If they already lost it in the second lap, they're really going to have to find something and dig for if they want to bring that lead group back. But as we saw in that last race with the women, anything's possible, and they could roll back if the lead pack sits up and plays little games. Could bring 2 more players right into it.
Yeah, and Cole Patton just 4 seconds off there. Cole comes into the bottom of that frame as well, so see if Cole can't bridge this gap up to those two. But again, Cole starting back of the pack here, finds themselves already up to 7th on that Giant Factory ride this year. Just making it look easy out there today, Spencer.
Yeah, they're rolling.
Again, we got one more race after this. We're going to have our men's U23 race coming up at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So for those tuned in right now on InsiderMTB.com, thanks for joining us, taking advantage of free international mountain bike racing being broadcasted right here from the United States. If you like what you see and you want to see more of it, maybe consider hitting that donate button. Donate today, and we'll give you a shout-out on the broadcast. Appreciate those that have already thrown a few dollars our way to help us broadcast what is some pretty spectacular bike racing happening right here in Southern California.
Completely free of charge, I might add. It's pretty cool. We're just bringing racing right to the masses. Look at that. Such a great shot of Chris leading the pack of 4 up. Riley right there in tow with Carter Woods as well.
Yeah, Jack Springer in the mix in that Bear National kit. Love to see that. Been watching Jack race for a lot of years, come up through the ranks from his 15-16 to 17-18, U23, now out here mixing it up with the elites. Watch him and his Bear National teammates race it out several times over the years in Fayetteville. He's holding on, doing his best. We'll see if he's got what it takes to hold Carter Wood's wheel. That's a tall task, though, because the 3 men in front of him are some of the best in the business.
Yeah, look at this. Blevins is tightening the screws a little bit. Applying some pressure as it looks like Jack might be slipping off the back just a little bit.
Yeah, fast section of the course here you're seeing.
Oh, look at that. We got some dust coming up as they're just ripping that berm.
Well, you talked about it. Course conditions, there's some more. These are the first time we're really starting to see, and a little loose there in that corner for Riley Amos. And you talked about it early this morning as these course conditions continue to dry out. You're familiar with this soil. And what was been really tacky kind of Velcro-like conditions up until now, this is the first time we're starting to see this course maybe loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. This place can hold a lot of water, and we did indeed get a lot of water this week. But we've had a lot of sun the last day and a half, and it's starting to dry out. So when this dirt gets dry, you get super hard-packed base and a lot of very marbly small rocks that end up getting super slick. And if the riders aren't careful, they can push the front end super easy in some of these corners and end up on the ground. But these guys look like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many accidents this weekend. Glad to see that. Always a good weekend when racers can get through the race clean, and most of these racers have all weekend long.
Speaking of Velcro, it looks like Riley's really making it a point to hang on to Chris with every attack that he is pushing.
Yeah, Riley trying to answer it, and you can tell Chris is on the attack, and now Carter Woods maybe starting to come off the back a little bit. We'll see if he's got what it takes to hold on and stay up with the lead two as they make their way through that Connex box and into this Rock Garden Texas suspension on that S-Work bikes of Blevins.
Little nose bong from Blevins. I like that.
Yeah, dropping into that Orange Seal Speed and Style section.
These boys definitely got both the speed and the style today.
Yeah, and Jack Springer now out of the frame. They may have ridden away from Jack. See if there he is. We'll see if he's got what it takes to bridge that. But I don't know at the pace that Blevins is keeping right now. He's putting a hurting on the whole rest of the field behind him.
Yeah, he's making it known that he's here to play today.
Approaching that HT Components power climb.
HT pedals, the pedals that Chris Blevins is running today. Choice of him and as well as Nino Schurter, multi-time world champ.
Yeah, good shout out. You should go check out their pedals. They've got a full line from HT Components. You can go over there and talk to Hector this weekend. He's out there in the tech area. All right, making their way up this climb for the third time.
And
All right, Chris is digging in a little bit here, starting to create some separation between him and Riley.
Yeah, I was just about to say, look what we're seeing. We got some space. He's got some clean air ahead of him, and he's building it behind him too.
Well, we saw this in yesterday's short track race, and so wonder if we're not going to see a similar result here today in the men's UCI XCO Olympic style cross country race, C1 category race for the UCI. A lot of points on the line, early season here in California. 2 weeks from now in Vail, Arkansas, and then on to that World Cup season that kicks off in Brazil in April.
Yeah, absolutely. Similar program to what they did last year. Went stacked up the points here, went directly to Bentonville, and then down to Brazil to hit those early races.
Yeah, and Christopher making best use of those races. When he gets to Brazil, he took the top step in the World Cup round 1 last year. Be exciting to see Chris and U.S. athletes do the same this year.
Yes. Starting the season on a
Okay,
high
this
note.
is an attack. He's up and out of the saddle. He looks over his shoulder, and Riley and Carter could not go with him. And so this is the top of that HT Components power climb. Chris is already well over the top of it as he's already started the descent. Now you see Riley just now starting to make that descent.
Yeah, this is a pretty early attack, I would say. Pretty much just no hard acceleration there. Just rode him right off the rear wheel. Both of them early on in this race. I think he's definitely here to make a statement.
See if we can get a eye on just how big this gap Blevins has been able to open up on Riley Amos and Carter Woods. That might be Jack Springer there in the frame. Off the back in fourth. Currently second place. There's Riley Amos on that Trek Factory ride. Pumping that section, trying to make quick work of it. See, he's starting to create some, trying to get back on terms here. There's Blevins. Blevins has opened up a pretty substantial lead here. Under 3 laps into this bike race.
Yeah, you can almost see a little sense of urgency there, and Riley's riding on that descent. He's going for it and bringing Carter with him, but I don't know if it'll be enough to bring back Chris Blevins. As Chris is going to be coming into our start straight here any second now.
Yeah, we'll be able to get you some time splits here pretty quick as they make their way through the start-finish area. Yeah, Riley, you can see he's on the pedals. He's on the gas. He's trying to see if he can't bridge that gap up to Chris, but Chris not even in the frame.
Yeah, it looks like he's put about 10 seconds into these guys. Maybe a little less, 7 to 10 seconds, I would say. And here comes Blevins through the finish line. On the pedals, looking smooth, looking very comfortable, if I may say. And the other two boys coming through just thereafter. And Chris is honestly putting down the same pace. He just hasn't exactly lifted. And the other two guys, Carter Woods and Riley Amos, fell off just a bit, about 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like a 6-second gap now back to second. Carter Woods out of Canada, riding with Riley Amos.
Chris coming down here on a fairly small program. He's just got one buddy taking care of his bike work and stuff while he's here.
Yep, saw Jack Springer just come through about 23 seconds behind Robbie Day, about 45 seconds off the mark. Braden Johnson just under a minute back.
And Cole Patton still hanging on in that 7th position.
Yeah, holding strong, top 10. He's about a minute 7 back. There's the separation. Look at that. Look at the lead now opened up by Blevins. Get an eye on where this race for second is. Carter Woods coming up and over, cresting that little up and over there. Riley Amos right on his wheel, though.
Really looks like this course is drying out, too. Losing a bit of traction.
Well, it looks like Christopher Blevins may have chose the right tire out there because doesn't seem to be having a problem hooking up. He is G-O-N-E gone. Making quick work of this race course here in beautiful sunny Temecula, California. Course conditions changing, though, from what they saw yesterday during pre-ride and even this morning, I'd say, as there was still a lot more moisture on the course, as you saw one of the littlest ripper out there next to him. Shout out to the crew here at Velocity Bike Park. Something for everyone.
Chris throwing some style. And, yeah, this decomposed granite that we're riding on holds a lot of water and gets rid of it quickly. So we're drying out, seeing completely, like you were saying, completely different conditions that we saw even 10 hours ago.
Chris on the Village Farms freeway climb now. First of 2 significant climbs on the course.
On the pedals, not letting up, and nor is Carter Woods, and Riley Amos. They are still moving.
Yeah, they were 6 seconds back that time through. I'm not sure, though, that Chris hasn't opened up even more of a sizable gap between first and second place. It looks like Jack Springer still out there trying to chase him down. He was about 23 seconds off the mark last time through. But shout out to him. Young Jack got a long career ahead of him in mountain biking.
Nice tight shot of the number 1 climbing up away from the main infield here.
Yeah, you got this little drop coming up here. He's going to little technical drop after he crests this climb. Called the Coliseum. Pretty cool section of the course that overlooks the valley below. You can kind of see that spaghetti of trails that they built out here. Over 30 miles of purpose-built mountain bike trails here at this bike park.
Yeah, every time you rattle off the 30-mile number, feels like that's a small number for here. You ride around all weekend, you never hit the same trail. It feels like there's way more than 30 miles out here.
That's a great look at just how steep some of the trail gets, though. You kind of see as Carter Woods and Riley Amos now make their way down. It's a pretty, saw that dust kick up in that corner from Riley, but yeah, pretty steep descent there. Great look at some of the technical features out here on the course. There's Cole Patton riding by through the frame. Currently sitting in 7th. Back to our second place. This is a battle out here on course, Spencer. Right now, I'd say it's between Carter Woods and Riley Amos for second as they hit that technical drop right there. And going to drop down and then climb back up to that over-under section we've been talking about all day.
Yeah. Absolutely, and these guys are going good. If you didn't know any better, you'd think that this was the front of the race here, as these guys are hard on the pedals.
Well, the race is up the road a little bit, as they say. But, yeah, racing happening all over the race course, I have to imagine. Look at the time splits. There's definitely some racing happening from front to back in the field, mid-pack and back. But right now, race for second between Carter Woods and Riley Amos.
Fighting for those also very important UCI points.
Yeah, both these gentlemen likely to move on to that World Cup round in Brazil. So a chance for them here in North America to grab some early season UCI points, put them in their pockets before heading down south. Dropping into that Orange Seal Speed and Style section. It's like a 15-foot cinder out there.
Yeah, it's a nice jump. I'm stoked to see jumps and technical rock gardens out here at Vail Velocity Park. Bringing up the youth in trails and courses that are a little more physically and technically demanding. All for it. Keep our sport progressing and keep our future generations more and more talented. It's awesome to see that these guys aren't afraid to build some jumps and some rock gardens to push these riders to the limit.
Yeah, and you're going to get to see some more of that action tomorrow. Tomorrow, this is day 2 of 3. Tomorrow we got a full amateur XC schedule of USA cycling sanctioned racing here at this venue. So, yeah, everybody from elite to beginners getting the opportunity to race out here at the bike park this weekend.
That's right.
Right, Christopher Blevins now on that HT Components power climb. Again, it's going to be interesting to see what the split is this time through. He was able to put 6 seconds on Carter Woods and Riley Amos on that last lap, and something tells me he might have easily doubled that so far. This is maybe this is definitely in the double digits at this point, Spencer.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's just building on this. He doesn't look like he's even showing any signs of letting up with these boys, and you still haven't even seen them in frame there. He's moving there. They finally are. That's, yeah, quite a bit of a lead that he is continuing to add to.
Yeah, longest climb on course, making it look easy. Great shot there of Carter Woods and Riley Amos. That's the chase. Chris about to crest the top of this climb.
Pretty impressive. We had Chris on our podcast. Insider MTB has a podcast that we do, and we have had Chris on a few times before he hit the Olympics, and man, he was a great person to chat to and chat with and have share some knowledge on what he's doing and what he's up to, and can't wait to have him back on, talk the Pro Cup and his plans for this year. Yeah,
I'll be excited to hear from him, and like we did the last race, we'll likely grab the winner of this bike race for an interview here on InsiderMTB.com today on the live stream. And so if things unfold as they are, we may be chatting with Christopher Blevins and be able to have that conversation here in just a couple of minutes.
Pretty nice shot of the snow-topped mountains in the distance from the recent storm we had.
Yeah, temperatures definitely changed yesterday morning, getting to the venue at about 6 a.m., and the frost-covered foothills here were just incredible. It was an incredible sight down here at the venue. As you can see, the snow-capped mountains in the distance, and most of these peaks around here are all covered in snow or frost. And, well, most of that's gone away now as the temperatures are finally starting to warm up, and it's just beautiful and 60 and sunny, and we're not lying, folks, not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, spectacular late winter day here in Southern California. Couldn't ask for more.
Another one of those technical rock sections added on the backside of this course. Again, new course built over the winter by the team here at the bike park.
Yeah, over halfway here now at the Velocity Bike Park here for the Orange Seal Pro Cup as we watch Chris Blevins put on a bit of a clinic here. out for just a Saturday cruise.
Yeah, it looked like he's stretching out his back a little bit there. Just trying to stay comfortable on that bike. Still a lot of bike racing to go.
That's right, as he comes to complete his 4th lap.
Looks like he's going to take a feed here as he makes his way through the start-finish, and we'll start that clock when he does and see if we can't get an idea of just what kind of gap he's been able to open 4 laps in.
11:22 lap time. That he is holding strong, super consistent with his lap times. Haven't changed more than 5 seconds. So he's just keeping it nice and steady, and it seems to be paying off. As 2nd and 3rd place approach the finish line here. It still is Carter Woods and Riley Amos coming in, and yeah, absolutely Chris Blevins has stacked on to his lead.
There's a great shot of 2nd and 3rd making their way through the finish line.
There it is. Chris Blevins added about 26 seconds to his lead, up to 32 seconds now ahead of Carter Woods and Riley Amos. Those boys dropped off the pace just a little bit from that last lap. And we have that Trek rider that is Jack Spranger keeping it rolling. Honestly, he might be closing in on the 2nd and 3rd place guys. He might be pulling a little bit back.
Yeah, look at that. 33-second gap now, over half a minute between Christopher Blevins and the rest of the field.
Robbie Day hanging in there strong in the 5th place as well. Looks like he might be closing in. Meet up with Jack Spranger, see if they can work together to crawl back onto the podium.
Braden Johnson coming through there as well. All right, been taking a look there at 2nd and 3rd. It's now Riley Amos leading Carter Woods into the woods. And there's that group. They've been able to Cole Patton found some help out there. He was kind of hung out on an island, but him, Ivan Sippy, Dan Gray. Yep. Cole Patton now seem to be working together. Cole dropping back to 9th, but still in that top 10. Just got hung out there in no man's land for a little bit. That's a hard place to be in a bike race. Unless you're at the front of the race like Christopher Blevins, hung out on this course anywhere else is not where you want to be.
Absolutely. It can be the best place in the world or the worst place in the world. When you're by yourself with nothing but your own thoughts and feel like you can't gain any ground, or you feel like you're just losing ground, it's a tough battle to fight internally. But sometimes, as you're seeing Chris Blevins in the positive side of no man's land, really just putting in work and out as you watch him stomp that climb.
Yeah, looks over his shoulder and just keeps putting on the pressure as he makes his way up that Village Farms freeway climb. He's already over it.
Yeah, he looks like he is coming into this 2025 season in great form. We here at Insider MTV are looking to have Chris and our winner of the women's race as well, Kelsey Urban, on the podcast here coming up. Have a chat with them, see how their weekend went and what their plans are for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
they both have pretty optimistic years ahead of them, and yeah, we'll have a little inside look, take a deep dive on what's going on in 2025 for them on the Insider MTV pod. Live on Spotify, Apple Music, you name it, Amazon Pods, it's there.
I'll be excited to tune in and listen in to that conversation.
As we watch now, as Riley Amos is kind of putting on some pressure for Carter Woods, leading them up the climb here. Seeing if they can claw back anytime. Might be a little too late, but you never know. And they still got a race to fight against themselves, so see who the better man is today. Take a click back and take a look at our group a little further back. That is the Cole Patton, Dane Gray, and Ivan Sippy group. Moving through.
Yeah, riders starting to work together as this day starts to get a little long. It's a big race, 7 laps, about 3,500 total feet of elevation gained throughout the race. And so, yeah, if you're mid-pack or back, you're probably looking for some friends out there, Spencer.
Or not, maybe not.
There you go, as your leader, Christopher Blevins, making quick work of that double. And
approaching one of your favorite sections, I think, of the course. The over-under section.
yeah, I love this little rock garden. Got a chance to take a look at it during the course walk with the UCI, and new section of the course built over the winter. Again, buried this Connex box up on top of a hill. Pretty cool. Created this over-under, what you're seeing Christopher Blevins do right now. When you shoot through this on the other side and you come at it quick, is probably the longest and most technical rock garden on the course.
And, man, is Chris moving. I even had the time to throw up a little peace sign at the top of that climb after going over the over-under.
Just out here having a day in beautiful Southern California.
Looking smooth, that's right.
Makes his way through that Orange Seal speed and style section. Gives a shout out to one of our sponsors. Got lots of support out here this weekend, including Orange Seal, the official sealant of the U.S. Cup and trusted by more pros than any other brand. Knockout flats with just one scoop. Been using John Fargus's Orange Seal product for several years, as are many of these athletes. Haven't really seen a flat tire out there all weekend long, and who knows? If I talk that into existence, I apologize now, but something tells me there's probably been a few punctures out there, but products like Orange Seal keeping these athletes moving throughout the race. Yeah, take a look back at maybe like a Jack Springer, see where he's at, racing for Bear National, kind of hung out on his own, but maybe Robbie Day may have some help as Robbie Day maybe he'll bridge up to him that race for 4th and 5th. Again, podium's going to go 5 deep here today for this UCI C1 XCO Men's Elite Race, and currently top 5 looks like Christopher Blevins, Carter Woods, Riley Amos, Jack Springer, and Robbie Day.
2 Bear National team riders linking up. They might be able to do a little bit of damage to the guys ahead of them if they really work together on these flatter sections and do a little bit of drafting and swap pulls. Might be able to claw back some time.
Yeah, there's about a 20-second gap to bridge there. That's a big task, but there's still a lot of racing left out here, Spencer. So
we did watch Blevins put it on the 2 guys behind him in 1 lap, so anything's possible.
That it is, and then you've got others working together like Ivan Sippy, Dane Gray, Cole Patton out there working together. Now Robbie Day, Braden Johnson working together. Yeah, at this point, like I said, you're going to need some friends to try to bridge up and close some of these gaps that Christopher Blevins has just opened up to early on in this race, and at this point just exploded the field. And now getting a look at Riley Amos on his own. Okay, there's Carter Woods coming back into frame, but wonder if that's not an attack by Riley Amos to try to shed Carter Woods, as we're now well past the halfway point of this bike race, but looks like Carter Woods comfortable to go with Riley there on that climb.
Yeah, I think that was inevitable. One of them is going to have to go eventually, try to shake the other, as we're looking at your 4th and 5th place riders, Jack Springer and Robbie Day.
Yep.
Back up to Riley Amos and Carter Woods, as Carter came right back to Riley's wheel. They head into the second half of the 5th lap that they're on.
Yeah, there's your Bear teammates, 4th and 5th.
That is Robbie Day leading the way now. Just made a pass on Jack Spranger. He seems to be moving in the right direction. Hopefully Jack can hang on and keep the ball moving.
Should be seeing Christopher Blevins come back through the start-finish line here shortly to go out and a couple more laps. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining us this weekend for the Orange Seal Pro Cup presented by Velocity Bike Park.
And if you're watching live on Insider MTB, we thank you for joining us today. We've had some very gracious people to donate a little bit to us, to our live stream, when we want to reach out, give them a little thank you. That's the Durango Bike Project, Jonathan Harris, Gabby Castanella, Nicholas Troiani, Paul Dubby, Aaron Thal, Jeff Hawks, Bailey Merlin, and a few others. So thank you, and Wrench and Roll, handful of other guys. So thank you guys so much for helping us out, and we're going to try to bring you more live coverage of XC racing around the U.S. here.
Yeah, free at that. How cool is that? Free live coverage of professional mountain bike racing right here in the States, being broadcast live and globally on InsiderMTB.com. As your leader of the bike race, Christopher Blevins, racing on that Specialized S-Works, makes his way through the start-finish area.
Starting off his 6th lap. Making this look nice and easy. And he did 11 minutes and 20-second lap time, so he is still holding strong to very consistent lap time. Slowed down just a little bit, 2 seconds or so, and Riley now is on his own. He has found air of his own now as he pushed away from Carter Woods, that is, and he put about 7 to 10 seconds on him now. Riley is in his own air, trying to chase down, see if he can pull in anything to Chris Blevins, but he is 33 seconds back, Riley is, so he held strong that lap, didn't lose much, didn't gain much either. As we take a look at Carter Woods, your third-place rider, back up to Chris Blevins, who's just rolling.
Yeah, you have to wonder, Riley saw that 2 to go as he came through that time, and it was now or never, so looking to create some separation over Carter Woods and at least secure that second place with confidence. Again, UCI C1 points up for grabs early in the season. We know Riley's going to go on and race that World Cup calendar starting in April in Brazil, and so these early season points here in the States, such an opportunity for North American athletes here in California 2 weeks from now in Fayetteville to grab, critical UCI points early on. This matters. This happens, this all filters into the call-ups and where they're going to start that first round of the World Cup.
Yeah, it's everything. Makes a world of a difference to just be up in those front rows early on in the season. Just have to pass that many less people, which pays dividends when you're trying to go as hard as you can and trying to avoid any pileups.
Yeah, Riley does look like he's been able to establish that gap on Carter Woods now in third place as Carter comes into frame on your screen.
Just a moment ago, we did see the Bear National Team riders, Robbie Day and Jack Spranger, together right there, just about 1 minute and 25 seconds adrift of Chris Blevins, and then Braden Johnson just came in about a minute after them in that 7th spot.
Yeah, I just saw Cole Patton and crew make their way through. Looked like Cole Patton now back in front, carrying the pace as they came through that start-finish line.
And, man, look at this shot of Chris rolling. He is on the pedals. Hasn't let up for the 56, almost an hour of racing thus far. And doesn't really show any sign of letting up. Back to those Bear development guys. Bear
All gas all the
Very
time. He
national.
was not comfortable sitting back behind that pace early on. We saw that first lap where some other athletes got out in front, like Riley Amos set up a little bit and allowed the rest of the field to bunch back up. And Christopher Blevins definitely not comfortable with that, jumped right back up in front and then just exploded this field. It's been all gas all the time ever since.
Yeah.
Looks like Riley Amos got about 7 seconds now over Carter Woods. That gap between Carter and that team of Robbie Day and Jack Spranger looks to be somewhere around another 45 seconds. So looks like Riley and Carter probably in good position in this race. Good to see teammates like Robbie and Jack working together towards the back end of this top 5. Going to see Bear National Team likely on the podium here in this elite men's race as well.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome seeing the Bear National Team out here mixing it up with the factory guys. And even in the junior ranks, the under 23 and junior men and women, they kind of claim the podiums all around today and are looking to claim a couple spots on today's podium in the elite category as well.
Yeah, and speaking of U23 ranks, we do have one more race left on the schedule for today, scheduled for 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be your UCI U23 men's XCO race. Start that staging about 3:45, but that race scheduled for 4 p.m.
And the day on a high note. Bunch of U23 riders ready to get after it and mix it up just like we're watching Chris Blevins do, hoping to have a race just as he is, which is on the gas, not letting up, and clear of any competition at the moment.
No, but this, if you're for us fans of U.S. athletes, this is exciting to see. Obviously, Chris is in great early season form ahead of April in that World Cup calendar. So excited to see that he's obviously had a strong winter. You know, he's followed his program well. He's on that specialized factory ride, and he's finding success here today in the sun of Southern California, and hopefully able to carry that success well into the season.
Yeah, no doubt. And it honestly just looks like he's having a great time with his BMX background. He's no stranger to handling a bike well. So he's just probably having a blast out here on all these jumps and berms and really just having a good time riding his bike today on a Saturday, a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Southern California.
I mean, attacking every climb. You just saw him attack that little punchy climb up and over that Connex box. I don't know that there's a climb I have not seen him attack on the day. Again, his lap times consistently in that kind of 11:20 mark each and every time. And so he's really dialed in for this race.
Yeah, I think if he really wanted to, he could hit a lap under 11 minutes. But he's just continuing to ride the same pace and looking great doing it.
Makes his way through that Orange Seal speed and style section.
Chris was indeed the previous world short track champion. He won that a few years ago in Snowshoe, West Virginia. That was pretty awesome. First time in quite some time that we had an American in the rainbow stripes. And still runs the stripes on the sleeves as he can when he's racing short track. And, yeah, he's been doing super well on the scene for the old stars and bars here.
Yeah, pretty cool to see. There's Canadian Carter Woods now coming up and over that over-under feature. See if we can get an eye on where Riley Amos is out in the mix. There's Riley, making his way through that Orange Seal speed and style section. But no one really seems to have an answer for Christopher Blevins today, Spencer. He seems to be all attack all the time, and when he decided to go, Riley, Carter, Robbie, Jack really didn't have what it took to go with him.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody's picking up the phone when he's calling today. No one wants to mess with him. He's just on a mission.
Again, early season, plenty of time. Riley had a great season last year. We mentioned it earlier, you know, really unprecedented. Won 5 consecutive World Cup rounds in the U23 ranks last year. Makes the jump up to elite this year, but exciting to see him out there, you know, early on, getting some laps in, getting some solid race, solid competition. Trying to chase down Christopher Blevins early in the season is no small task, and so a lot of season left to go and plenty of time for athletes like Riley Amos to find their form.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And we're like I said earlier, we're looking to have them on the podcast here in the next week or so, and I got plenty of questions for them. I'd love to hear if their strategy for peak parts of their season, where they want their fitness to be, where they're at, if they changed anything with whether it's diet or coaching or just riding strategy. Because, yeah, long season ahead of them. They got a lot of big races, and the first race doesn't exactly mean much other than some good UCI points that it looks like they're going to most likely go 1-2 here today.
Well, we talked about this earlier. Some riders show up to the first race in top form. Others look at the first few races to ride themselves into form, and that may be exactly what athletes like Riley Amos and others are utilizing this weekend to do.
Yep. No practice like the real deal. And they're just out here racing, blowing the cobwebs out. And, just wanted to do a quick shout-out. We just got a new donation from Kirk Wester here on InsiderMTB.com. So thanks for everyone watching at home with us today. We're having a blast out here, and we hope you guys are too, having fun and enjoying this live coverage here from the Orange Seal Pro Cup presented by Velocity Bike Park.
Get a good shot of second-place rider right there, Riley Amos, on that Trek Factory ride. Look back at Jack Springer and Robbie Day, 4th and 5th. Those Bear National Team riders working together towards the back of our top 5. Again, podium's going to go 5 deep. Look at current third-place Carter Woods out of Canada. Having a good day again, early season. Carter, a regular on the U.S. Pro Cup circuit, and the U.S. XC Open circuit, presented by Orange Seal, but also the World Cup calendar.
Yeah, absolutely. If I were any of these guys starting off my season with a podium, with the depth of field that we do have today, I'd be a happy camper. So I think they got a lot to build on and a lot of positivity right out of the gate here in the 2025 XC season.
Well, an early season, you don't have to look any farther to find your fitness than that Bear National team. We've been calling those team members out all weekend long, and here we have a couple more in the top 5 of this men's elite race. 2 Bear National team riders right there, Robbie Day and Jack Springer.
Yeah, that's right. And we are getting close to seeing our leader, Chris Blevins, come in through the finish line and get that one lap left. The bell should be ringing, and we'll have about 12 minutes of racing left.
Good little look at the team village, team tech area out here at the venue. The KOA campgrounds. What an amazing facility here at Vail Lake. I mean, from the mountain bike infrastructure and the trails to the camping and the cabins and the restaurants and the bars. They even got a bar here at the KOA. It's pretty incredible. As your leader makes his way through the bike race, I was just told that. I don't know that for sure. I was just told there's a bar here.
That's where I'm going as soon as this race is over, so I'll meet you there. Speaking of bars, though, we got Chris Blevins setting it.
Twisting his bars as he made his way through there. He is absolutely still twisting the bars on that bike as he's now I think he's just picked up the pace on this final lap. He's not content with that. You know, he wants here it is. We're going to call it. We may see a sub-11 lap right here as he is on the gas, on the go for the final time here today at the Orange Seal Pro Cup.
That's right. And he just clocked in another 11 minutes and 18 seconds lap time, so he's sticking it right there, being Mr. Consistent today.
Mr. Consistent going to get it done this weekend for sure. Getting an idea of our second and third place riders. Here comes Riley Amos coming through. See what the time split is. He gets the bell with the 1 to go.
He did run about an 11:34 on that lap and is about 49 seconds adrift from Chris Blevins, but Carter Woods still sitting there in third, hanging out just about 10 seconds, a little further behind Riley Amos, and looking to try to ride it home in the third spot. There he is, Carter Woods coming through the finish line on that giant factory off-road team bike. Looking powerful and smooth and efficient as we still watch our leader put on the clinic.
Yeah, beautiful shot there. Beautiful drone shot there. The foothills of Southern California. Yeah, pretty cool shadow effect there on the mountainside of leader Christopher Blevins. You see the sun starting to dip down in the sky a little bit as we're getting a little later in the day, a little past 3 o'clock. Again, one more race on the scheduled for 4 p.m. That's going to be your UCI U23 men's Olympic-style cross-country mountain bike race. Great. Again, just great coverage of this race. Great shots here as we watch current leader Christopher Blevins make his way through the first part of the final lap of this men's elite UCI XCO race.
That's right. Chris Blevins just looking so smooth, so effortless, but also just laying down the watts. Yeah, I think we're watching him really accelerate. He might be going for a sub 11-minute lap here. He's not letting up one bit.
Again, have not seen a climb he hasn't attacked. Here he is for the last time on the Village Farms freeway climb, up and out of the saddle, and attacking he is.
Racing the shadow at this point, the best training partner out there. He's really getting after it. It's pretty cool to see. Seeing how hard he wants to bury himself today.
Again, as he approaches the top of this climb, you saw a little section there that kind of trail splits and then comes back together, all part of this climb here. And still just twisting the screws out there on the rest of the competition.
Oh, what a shot there.
Epic shot right there. Absolutely shows you the elevation. Again, proper elevation. 3-mile race course with 500 feet per lap of gain each and every time around. 7 laps, going to do about 3,500 feet of climbing in this race.
Not bad for an hour and 20 minutes or so. I think we're going to be sub hour 20. Should be right at an hour 18, hour 19 minutes.
Backside of what I think we call the Coliseum. Just great ridge lines just sprawling out across this venue. A lot of up and down. Fast little section here as we see some dust kick up.
Yeah, he seems to be playing it a little safer, as you would imagine, but isn't hitting the corners quite as hard as he was earlier, but still laying down the watts. Standing up everywhere, man. Guy doesn't want to sit down, just crushing it.
Yeah, putting on an absolute clinic early season. Again, great to see from an athlete like Christopher Blevins, who we know have some pretty big aspirations for the 2025 season, riding for Specialized Factory, and showing that he's already found that early season form here today at the Orange Seal Pro Cup in Temecula, California.
Yeah, this is the ideal way to start the 2025 season, I would say.
Willing to take that A-line, do that little double there with ease as he makes his way back up and through that Connex box area for the final time today. And here he is again, tacking this small little up. He's up and out of the saddle, twisting the bars almost off the bike as he goes up and around, down and through this Connex box for the final time on the day. There'll be a pretty technical rock section after this. And
yeah, I love the way he hits this. He keeps that so smooth, keeps the corners nice and round. Rolling right through that, pop the dropper post down, and just be blitzing through that rock section.
Yep, dropping down in that Orange Seal Speed and Style section now.
Little ET over the double. BMX riders would appreciate that.
Seems to be just taking not a lot of risk at this point in the race.
Yeah, you want to talk about being checked out. This guy's going to probably go clear of a minute, I would say, in terms of the lead he has built up at the end of this lap.
Yeah, one big climb to get it done. last time around for Chris. And the HT Components power climb, again, the longest climb on the course. You're about to see him drop down to the bottom of the venue, real close to the start finish here, really kind of right behind us. Great shot there. You'll see you got one big more sweeping turn, and that's where that climb starts. About right there, the elevation starts to pick up. The longest climb on the day. Going to climb all the way up to the top of the ridge line before dropping off the backside, and some brand new trail that takes you back to the finish line.
And HT is indeed the pedal choice of your leader here, Chris Blevins, as he chooses to clip into a set of HTs. And it does look like the course is getting a little more slippery. We just saw a rider roll through with a pretty dirty shoulder, so there might be a little bit of carnage out there.
Someone's been going down. There's a good shot at our second place rider, Riley Amos, as he makes his way through that Orange Seal Speed and Style section for the final time on the day. But it is all eyes on Christopher Blevins as he is already to the top of that power climb and now starts the descent off the backside for the final time of the day. Look at that beautiful shot as he crests the, really the last of the elevation of his race today. And now it's incredible. Beautiful ridge line. Great shot of what they've established here at this Velocity Bike Park, because you can see when we say over 30 miles of trails, that's what we mean. That's just incredible infrastructure they built, capable of hosting everything from local to regional to national to international competition like this weekend's Orange Seal Pro Cup.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Great shot of all of the different types of trail where we are, and beautiful spot to hold a bike race here in the wine country of Temecula.
You just kind of get an idea of just how significant that ridge line is. As Chris is about to peel off now and start the final descent of his race. Ooh, a little slippery in that corner. Again, like you said, you called it, Spencer. Course conditions definitely drying out here and starting to get a little looser. I guess that sand starting to kind of come to the top and loosen up a little bit, and tires starting to break a little bit.
Yeah, the ground's just so hard here that the little bit of loose on top just becomes super, super slippery when it dries out, and you still can get a good amount of traction, but when it starts drying out, it just keeps you on your toes a little bit.
Got a quick peek there of Riley Amos, second place, finishing up that power climb himself, but great to watch here and just kind of take in what Christopher Blevins has been able to do with this race. It's really putting an early season stamp
Absolutely
on where he stands as far as the competition goes.
Here's Riley making his way up the HT Pedals power climb. Looking good, looking smooth on the climb. Looking to end his race on a high note. And I think we should be just a short couple moments away from seeing our leader come through the finish and take home the first win here at the Orange Seal Pro Cup.
Good shot at Carter Woods, currently in third. Looks like he's well back behind Riley at this point. So start to see the fans gather here at the finish line. That's always fun to see, is waiting to see Christopher Blevins join us for the final time here today at the Orange Seal Pro Cup, and expected to cross the line in first in just a few minutes.
Just a few seconds, really. He should be coming into sight here any second now.
And there he is. He's on that straight line past the taco truck and straight into the finish line. Ladies and gentlemen,
make some
let
noise.
Him hear it. Put your hands together. Christopher Blevins taking the win here today at the Orange Seal Pro Cup.
11 minutes and 2 seconds. Almost went sub-11 on that last lap. Fastest lap of the day on the final one for your winner, Chris Blevins.
Taking the win. Hats off to Chris.
Specialized factory rider.
Got to be excited. Stuffing some early season.
Getting the thumbs up
Here we are with race winner Christopher Blevins. Just took first place at the Orangeville Pro Cup, round 1 of the U.S. XCO Open presented by Orangeville. Chris, pretty exciting race to call early on. Looks like everyone kind of finding their form. We know it's kind of the first race of the season. You were kind of sitting second or third back, and we saw the rest of the pack kind of set up and kind of everyone start to close up, but you didn't seem to be comfortable with that. We saw you jump out in front and then set the pace. Take us a little bit through of that kind of first lap or two of this race.
Yeah, as you said, first race back. So you spend, 3-4 months training, mostly alone, evaluating how you feel, hoping you feel good. And then it's nothing you can really compare to a race environment. So I think I was just testing, evaluating where I was, just trying to get that flow back and push it. And Riley and Carter raced with those guys a bunch. I know they're super strong, so I was just trying to test them and test myself early and then go from there.
Well, find your form you did. It's been a great weekend for you. You took the short track win yesterday. You take the UCIC 1 race today. What's the rest of the early season look like for you and the Specialized Factory team? Where from here?
Yeah, I'll just say, first of all, it's great to be here. I love this course. I love being, in the U.S. race scene with all the juniors. I say this a lot. I don't get to race in the U.S. that much with the World Cups mostly being in Europe. So it's great to see so many kids racing, such a strong junior field. And, and next up, Fayetteville U.S. Cups. We got 2 more there, 2 more XCs, 1 more short track, and then straight to Brazil from there. And, then we're off to the big stuff.
Well, hopefully the success we saw last year from Fayetteville to Brazil, maybe we're all eyes. We want to wish you well and hope you can replicate that. You took the wins in Fayetteville and took that success down to Brazil, took the win at the World Cup. So we'll be rooting for you. Great to see you here. Thanks for being here with us this weekend in California. We'll see you in a couple weeks in Fayetteville.
All right, thank you, and thanks to Austin and Insider Mountain Bike for broadcasting this. It's really good for our sport to have live coverage, so hope we continue with it.
Well, something tells me you may see this coverage continue right in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Thanks, Chris. We'll see you soon.